Hello people, I hope we're all doing well. It's been a little bit of a while from me uploading any YouTube videos. Everything's been incredibly busy, obviously restarted the business, all that sort of stuff. Moved cities twice, and obviously YouTube's just taken a little bit of a backseat. So obviously it's now winter time, let's be honest, the weather's shit. So motivation does naturally start to dip around this time of the year. And I just want to kind of help you guys get through it the best way that we possibly can. So this episode I'm going to be taking you through how to stay motivated throughout the winter, tips on how to keep your energy higher, how to continue to hit your goals, and make sure that you're not just going into Christmas and just fucking all of your progress up like a lot of people do at this time of the year. A lot of people just really start to hit the fucker button. And I'll also take you through like a little physique update where I'm currently at with my training, my nutrition, all the rest of it. So just about to head off to the gym, going Ultra Flex today. I've got an upper body day, so we'll be doing, well, literally everything on my upper body. And yeah, I'll see you when I'm at the gym. We're going to be starting off with some seated side lateral raise, trying to grow the delts, and then we're going to go into some chest, some back, and then to finish off with some arms. And then Sunderland are playing at 3 o'clock today as well, so hoping we're going to get 3 points today. So the session's been finished, we're back home, showered, had a little bit of food, and I just wanted to kind of go through a couple of different ways that we can stay motivated. I'll move that light out of the way. So a couple of different ways that we can stay motivated during the winter. Now, one thing a lot of people start to do is really beat themselves up because of the fact that they don't stay motivated during the winter, and a lot of people are like, what's wrong with us? Why am I not motivated? Why is it hard to get out of bed? It's all completely fucking normal. Completely normal. Now, the one thing that we can do is accept that it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get our steps in, more difficult to get out of bed, more difficult to have a little bit of motivation to train. There's naturally going to be a lot more food around. There's naturally going to be a lot more social occasions and alcohol and things like that. So how can we stay on track, and how can we continue to make results and make sure that we're actually hitting and ticking the boxes that we need to? First one is just get outside as much as you possibly can. Now, one thing that a lot of people do, I've been guilty of this myself in the past, is looking at the winter as a pretty much as an excuse not to do the things that we know we need to do. If we know that we need to get out for steps, right? Yes, it might be cold and it might be dark outside, but that doesn't mean that we can't get out and get a walk in the morning. Like, it's not going to be as fun. It's not going to be as bright. You're probably not going to want to do it as much. However, when you get to this point in the year, we just have to accept that it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So make sure that you're still getting yourself up for a decent time. Make sure that you're well rested, that you're getting your sleep in, and that you just get yourself up. And that first 5 to 10 minutes of the day is probably going to be the hardest part of your day. But if you just drag yourself up, right, get yourself for that walk, trust us, the rest of your day is going to be significantly better. Now, how can we make this easier for ourselves? Literally just get your clothes ready for the morning. Get some joggers, get a t-shirt and maybe a hoodie or a jumper and a hoodie or whatever. Get a nice big coat and stuff on, and just lay it all out on your chair, on your bed, on your floor, whatever, for the morning, so that by the time that you get up, you can literally just get up, brush your teeth, hydrate, and then get your clothes on and go straight for a walk. Even if it's only for like 10 minutes, right? If the sunlight's not out, it's still incredibly important to make sure that we're getting ourselves out for a walk. We're not just sitting in our bedroom scrolling on our phone, because I have been guilty of this of myself in the past, where you literally go, oh, it's dark, I don't really want to get up, I don't want to do anything. And I'm just going to sit and scroll on my phone for like 10 to 15 minutes. What you're then doing is you're spiking your dopamine super fucking high in the morning. And then for the rest of the day, I can guarantee that you're going to be chasing those quick fixes in terms of nutrition, in terms of, again, probably sitting and scrolling on your phone even more, which will severely affect your, not severely, but it will affect your mental health, especially in the winter if we're not actually getting outside. And then in terms of walks, again, throughout the day, like if possible, if you can, like right now, you can see my room's pretty bright. That's because the sun's out, right? It's nearly December. The sun is still out, all right? Some days it's going to be cloudy and it might not come out very much, but it's really important to take advantage of the sun being out. I've literally just been out for a walk myself for about 15 minutes just to get the sun on my face for the day, because it's really important that we're still getting that in. Other ways we can do it is in terms of our training. Accept that, again, there's going to be a little bit more food around. We're going to have some more social occasions. We're probably not going to be dropping much weight in the week of Christmas and potentially the week before or the week after, depending on when your social events come up. So use that as an advantage for your training. Don't use it as an excuse to sack your training off completely. Accept that we're going to have some extra carbs and that we're going to use those for energy, and we're going to be looking to build muscle, because ultimately when it gets to January, most people, unless of course you're in a longer term bulk, most people are going to be looking to lose some body fat when it comes into January. So we need to make sure that we're actually building muscle and strength and laying those habits at this point in the year, so that by the time we get to January, yes, we're going to have a little bit of extra body fat, but that is completely expected. And then we can look to go into a potentially an aggressive fat loss phase during January, February, and maybe even March as well. So make sure that we're pushing hard in training, that we're using that extra food. Every single thing that you see as a disadvantage quite often has a massive advantage to it. So again, having extra calories and maybe a little bit more body fat will give you more energy in the gym. You should be able to get a lot stronger. You will build more muscle more efficiently as well. Things we can do in terms of supplementation is we can make sure that we're getting plenty of omega-3s in. These do show to have a slightly, well, not even slightly, there's a lot of research to show that these actually have an antidepressive effect, especially during this time of the year. If it is Norway, I believe, where they get like 6 months of darkness, and it's really common, they've been doing this for years, taking omega-3 fish oils a lot during that time. Make sure you're also getting your vitamin D in as well, because naturally we're not going to have as much sun. If you need to double up on that supplement as well, to make sure that we're actually getting the vitamin D in that we need to make sure that we're feeling energetic. And obviously this whole time we are still making sure that our nutrition's good, plenty of fruit and veg, plenty of easily digestible foods that aren't going to affect our digestion too much. In terms of social occasions, just try your best not to overdo it every single time you're gonna go out. The average person will probably be out pretty much every weekend in December. If you're going out and getting absolutely fucking bladdered every single Saturday until 3-4 o'clock in the morning, yeah, you're gonna feel like shit. That's probably gonna spill into your Sunday, your Monday, your Tuesday, maybe even your Wednesday for some people if you're getting old like me and you can't tack your hangovers. And that will end up ultimately meaning that it's harder to make those better choices for ourselves. We'll naturally want to go for slightly more high calorie dense foods and maybe not train in the first couple of days of the week. And generally, when people don't train for the first couple of days of the week and we feel like shit towards the end of the week, that's when we end up going, you know, it is, fuck it, I've already fucked the week, I'm not going to go to train on a Thursday, I'll just start again on Monday. Then you go out and you get pissed again on that Saturday, and then you keep on telling yourself you're going to start again on Monday. And then by the time we get to January, you're like, shit, I haven't trained to look after my nutrition for the last 4 weeks, and I've put myself 6 months back. Now, the reason that it's really important to make sure that we're still staying quote unquote locked in right during December is because what a lot of people will do is tell themselves that they're just going to take November and December off and then it's only 2 months and they're not missing out that much. I'm going to tell you is why you're probably going to put yourself about 6 months back, okay? If you have the mentality of I'm just going to take November and December off, you're probably going to put a fair few kilos on. You're probably going to lose muscle because you're not training. You're going to find it a lot harder to get back into your habits in January as well because you've probably stopped looking after your nutrition, stopped going for steps and stopped doing all that sort of stuff. So that by the time you come around to January, you realise that you've actually put a lot of weight on or quite a decent amount of weight on and that you're actually probably back to where you were about 6 months ago. And on top of that, you've now got to start training again, start with your nutrition again and start implementing your lifestyle habits and you're probably just going to go fucking full throttle for the first 4 weeks, get burned out because it's not sustainable and you're probably going to get overwhelmed and then you end up becoming unmotivated and stopping because you've just done way too much too soon because you lost all the habits that you've spent. You've lost all the habits that you spent the last 6 to 12 months building up. So just make sure that you're still hitting the basics. We're still getting out for 1 to 2 walks a day and making sure that we're getting outside for around an hour, even if it means that we've got to wrap up. If you don't, or if it's absolutely like pissing down and you don't have the ability to go out for a walk, either maybe look at getting a walking pad or just get yourself to the gym for walks for like half an hour. Get up on your lunch break and just go and walk around when you're not eating your food. Get up every now and then if you're sat at a desk and just literally go and walk around the office for like 5 minutes. Go and keep yourself busy, get up, stay active, because this is the time when everybody's steps start to drop off. I hear it from clients and I will always give them the same response. They're always like, oh, I couldn't get my steps in because it was cold. That's what coats were invented for, right? So you can still go out and you can still do it. People seem to have a massive issue with going out and getting a walk done or getting steps done when it's in the winter, but they never seem to have an issue standing outside of a nightclub with like a thin jacket or a t-shirt, or for lasses, you'll have a dress on. Nobody ever seems to have an issue with that. Walking from the taxi to the club, which might be like 5-10 minutes, waiting in the queue, waiting outside the takeaway while you've got pretty much nothing on and it's like fucking 1 degrees, right? At 12 o'clock at midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Nobody ever seems to have an issue with that. So you can definitely get yourself wrapped up and just get yourself out for a 10 or 15 minute walk. I promise it will help you to stay motivated. Making sure that we just have these goals set and making sure that we have these basics nailed will help us to stay motivated, because what we need to be able to do at this time of year is flip the narrative and not just think that every single day or every single week or every single month that we're working towards a fitness goal, we have to be focused on fat loss. You don't. And by the way, if you do want to still focus on fat loss, like, you absolutely can. You just have to learn how to manage your social occasions. Make sure that you're nailing the week. If you are going to be going out on a weekend, make sure that you are nailing your nutrition and your training all the way through the week. And that if we're going out on a Saturday night, for an example, we wake up, we have something like yogurt and berries in the morning, so we're getting protein, fibre, and some micronutrients in. Lunch, probably just have some chicken breast or some lean meat, maybe some fish or something like that. Just a good protein source. Again, with some fruit and veg, just to make sure we're staying full. We've got plenty of micronutrients in, we're hydrated. Obviously, make sure you're drinking a lot of water throughout the day because you're going to be getting pissed on the Saturday night. And that means that when we go out on a night time, we can have the meal that we want and we can have some drinks. If you are going out a couple of times this month, just try to stick to low-calorie drinks, things like your vodka, your gin, your tequila, if you can stomach that. I definitely can't. And then stick to your low-cal mixes like your Diet Coke, your soda water, and things like that. And that just means that we don't have to hit the fucker button and we don't have to just completely throw everything out the window. Like, still be vigilant of what you're eating and still think about what you're actually putting in your body during this time, because that can genuinely make or break what your results are going to be going into January. You can probably expect like 1 kilo or 2 of weight gain. It's nothing drastic, but don't be expecting to drop loads of weight if you're going to be going out every single weekend, guys. It just isn't going to happen. The best thing you can do is stay on track throughout the week and just make sure you're not overdoing it at a weekend, because you can write off results purely from what you do on a weekend, okay? They're my best tips to stay on track during
these winter times and these darker times. It's not easy, but again, there's plenty of people that get good results during this time of year. Plenty of my clients are still in fat loss phases. Plenty of my clients are going into maintenance phases very soon over Christmas, where we literally just focus on getting strong as fuck, enjoying a little bit more food, resetting, getting ourselves out of a deficit for a little while, and then we go back into the new year feeling full of beans and obviously full of energy and full of motivation. Okay. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.